We wanted to give you some tips for navigating the upcoming annual meeting of the ESA. A lot of this will be covered during the orientation on the Saturday you arrive, and in a webinar prior to the meeting. But this video will also serve as an additional resource as you prepare for the conference. We want to make sure that the time you spend at the conference is truly valuable for you, and we want you to get the most that you can out of being there. It's pretty unusual for undergraduates to attend or present at a national conference like ESA. Attending this meeting is a pretty big accomplishment for graduate students as well. However, there are many important reasons to attend a big national conference at this point in your education, and it's a great opportunity to advance yourself toward your career goals. First of all, you'll gain important professional experience. Most of you will be presenting a poster on your research. By presenting, we mean that when people come up to ask you about your poster, you'll be able to succinctly describe your research, results, and the implications of your conclusions. You will also be attending many talks and poster sessions and spending time with your mentors. All of these experiences will add to your development as a young professional. This is one of the aspects of attending ESA that previous participants have appreciated the most. You'll also expand your professional networks. Not only will you get to know your fellow students in the SEEDS program, you'll also get to know your SEEDS mentors and through them, other professionals. And you can introduce other students from SEEDS to your mentor, and they can do the same for you. And your network will just keep growing. If you're lucky, you may even meet your future grad school advisor or employer at the meeting. This has happened for several SEEDS participants. You may want to have your CV handy to give to people, especially during your poster presentation. You can even tack them up beside your poster. And speaking of CVs, presenting at a national conference is an important CV builder and may help you as you apply to graduate school and for jobs. Be sure to add it, along with your membership in ESA, to your CV when the conference is over. You'll learn a lot from attending the talks and poster sessions. You might learn about a whole new area of ecology, conservation, education, or policy that you haven't considered before. Or you might learn more about an area that you're already deeply interested in. Keep an open mind about what might be interesting. Who knows, maybe you'll get some ideas for future research projects. Furthermore, you'll make new friends, both within and outside of the SEEDS program. Your time at the meeting will be spent more efficiently if you set some goals for yourself before you leave for the conference. Perhaps there are specific people you want to meet. Take a look at the program and see if there are any people associated with topics you're interested in who you might like to track down. Or you could set a goal to leave with a set number of grad school or job leads. Or challenge yourself to speak with at least 5 people at your poster, or at least 10 strangers. This approach isn't going to be for everyone, but what I do encourage everyone to do is to reflect on your experiences every day. As leadership expert John Maxwell says, evaluated experience is the best lesson. Most personal development books these days stress that it's not by doing that you learn, but by thinking about how you did it. I also suggest taking notes just on the talks that you think are the most interesting. Lately, it seems like there's a move toward visual note-taking or sketchnoting, so maybe you could give this a try. Also, don't wear yourself out attending talks. You don't have to attend every session. Now, this is a little dated, but you may remember the phenomenon known as Pokemon Go. You can play your own ESA Go game by choosing 4 or 5 scientists or professionals whose work interests you ahead of time. And make it a point to find them and speak to them during the conference. You can figure out who there might be interesting to you by using the online scheduler at the meeting website. There will be a lot going on during the week, and it's important to strike a balance. Make sure that you're getting enough sleep. Go to talks and poster presentations, but also take time to get to know the other SEEDS students and your mentors. Some of you may already know each other, but remember that this is a SEEDS event and you are SEEDS participants. Each one of you should participate fully in all of the SEEDS events that are on the SEEDS schedule that you'll receive at the orientation. And for all of you, please extend your friendship to all of the participants in the SEEDS program. This is a great way to grow your network, and many students who've attended SEEDS in the past have maintained friendships with people they met through SEEDS. And remember the importance of inclusivity to the SEEDS program and to the field of conservation. So please be open and inclusive, and don't just stick with people you may already know. You may have been wondering what to wear, and in general, ecologists can be a scruffy bunch. You may see people there in shorts and t-shirts and sandals, but we encourage you not to follow their example. As established scientists, they made their important first impressions a long time ago, and they may no longer be out to impress other than by their science. For you, this is your chance to make a good first impression. And given that you haven't reached the point in your career where you can dazzle people with your science, we recommend dazzling them with your professionalism. So when you go casual, it's still better to have a shirt with a collar and to wear khakis, slacks, or skirts rather than jeans or shorts. And please don't wear flip-flops. Here are some conference participants presenting a much nicer picture than in the previous one, and their outfits would be much more appropriate for both going to talks and poster presentations and for dinner with their mentors. Despite the picture on the slide, though, you don't have to wear a tie. Please also keep in mind the often Arctic chill of the meeting rooms. We recommend bringing jackets, sweaters, and other clothing you can layer, especially since August tends to be a warm month, and you'll probably be quite hot when you're outside. So again, layers are important. And a word to the wise. Shoes that have never given you blisters before may turn on you suddenly, especially wearing them all day or out in the heat or humidity. You'd be smart to be prepared for this possibility by bringing band-aids you can put on your heel or toes, just in case your shoes betray you. You should plan on looking especially nice when you present your poster. Casual clothing would not be good in this circumstance. While you don't have to wear a suit, and I don't especially recommend it, a jacket and tie, or at least a tie, is recommended for those inclined towards such fashion, or some other professional outfit for those who are not. Think more business than business casual. Some of you may be worried about the conference because you know you're shy or you're an introvert. This is understandable. Still, there are things you can do to make this conference an enjoyable and productive experience for yourself. First of all, remember to take breaks when you need to recharge. You could go get yourself a drink or a snack and sit by yourself at a coffee shop for half an hour. Do whatever it takes to help you distress for a little while before heading back into the fray. When you are an introvert at a conference, you can come prepared with conversation points, things that you can fall back on in conversation. You can always just say things like, "Wow, this is a big conference. I've never been to anything like this. I'm hoping it will give me some ideas about next steps. How did you decide what you were going to do?" Another suggestion for successfully navigating a big conference is to use positive affirmations before you go out in the morning or at the start of each special event. You can visualize yourself confidently introducing yourself to people and engaging in conversation with them. Finally, ask your more extroverted friends to introduce you to people they've already met or to help you engage more socially. If you're an extrovert, help out your seeds friends that you see struggling. If someone is standing by themselves or looks uncomfortable or lost, walk over to them and start a conversation. Introduce them to people you've already met. While you're there, you're sure to get a lot of business cards, and the worst thing you can do is just put them in a pile and think that you'll be able to sort them out and make use of them later. You could bring some tape and tape each card into a notebook, along with a note that places that person into a context that you'll be able to derive meaning from later. Or you could use an app on your phone for this purpose. I also highly recommend using a notebook for daily goal setting and reflections. Every morning, ask yourself, what is my goal for this conference? It might actually change from day to day. Ask yourself what you want to accomplish that day. You can make a note of the talks you want to attend, or think about how you can promote diversity and inclusion that day. I also recommend that you always think about how you can add value to someone else. At the end of the day, make sure you reflect on your experiences. This is when real learning happens, so write down what you learned. Maybe you can reflect on the most interesting or inspiring person you met. You may want to make a practice of writing down 3 things you did well every day and congratulate yourself on them. You can also write down what you want to make a point of doing differently the next day, if there is anything that falls into that category. You can also write down 3 things that you're grateful for. If you're feeling overwhelmed by the conference or feeling any negativity, practicing gratitude may help you put things into perspective. Throughout the week, please use your brains and be smart about your safety. Go out in groups of 3 or more. Stay out of dark alleys. If something seems sketchy or gives you a bad feeling, just don't do it. Listen to your intuition. There will be a lot of people at this conference. ESA has a clear policy on harassment and misconduct, so if anyone acts inappropriately towards you, please let your seeds organizers know. Finally, have fun. This is an opportunity few people get at your stage of education. And be sure to express your gratitude to the people who are working hard to make sure that you have a great experience at ESA with seeds.